Organizations using IAM Identity Center previously had to manage both AWS application access and AWS account access together, even when they only needed application access management. This meant provisioning service-linked roles into member accounts, which increased the access surface in your environment. You can now decide whether to enable AWS account access management when creating a new organization instance. When you choose not to enable account management, you can use IAM Identity Center solely for managing access to AWS applications, providing single sign-on and authentication without provisioning service-linked roles into member accounts. This reduces your security footprint while still enabling workforce identity management across AWS applications. If your needs change, you can enable account management permissions later through instance settings or the Update Instance API. This capability is available during initial configuration of new IAM Identity Center instances in all AWS regions where the service operates. When you run latency-sensitive data processing workloads on Lambda that transfer large volumes of data from external sources, the existing 625 megabits per second network bandwidth limit can constrain data transfer speeds and increase execution times. This impacts performance when you need to process several terabytes of data. To address this, you can now configure your Lambda functions with 2 gigabytes of memory or more to access scalable network bandwidth. First, you enable the feature by submitting a request through AWS service quotas for the network bandwidth per execution environment quota. Once enabled, bandwidth scales automatically based on your function's memory configuration, ranging from 625 megabits per second at 2 gigabytes up to 3000 megabits per second at 10 gigabytes. This applies to all functions outside of VPC in your account, reducing execution times and per invocation costs. The feature is available at no additional charge in all commercial AWS regions. Agentic AI applications experience bursts of activity followed by long idle periods with unpredictable traffic patterns, requiring database capacity that can respond instantly and scale efficiently. Aurora Serverless now addresses this by scaling to 12 ACUs within 1 second during scale-up events, then continuing to scale up to 256 ACUs as your workload demands increase. When your workload completes, it automatically scales down to 0, ensuring you only pay for the capacity you actually use. This enhancement is enabled by default on platform versions 3 and 4 with no configuration changes required, while clusters on platform versions 1 and 2 can upgrade to platform version 4 to access these capabilities. You can verify your cluster's platform version in the AWS Management Console or through the RDS API's Serverless of 2 platform version parameter. When running ETL pipelines and exploratory data analysis, you face challenges with false anomaly alerts and unpredictable data arrival patterns that create noise and obscure genuine data quality issues. AWS Glue Data Quality now addresses these problems with an observation mode that reduces false positives by using a constant baseline instead of linear trend extrapolation, making it suitable for datasets with flat or random patterns and irregular schedules. You can now monitor anomalies across notebook-based workflows and exploratory environments without pricing concerns, as anomaly detection for Glue ETL jobs is available at no additional cost. This allows you to focus on genuine data quality issues while maintaining consistent monitoring across all your pipelines, regardless of execution schedule or data pattern predictability. When vector datasets grow to billions or trillions of vectors, you face trade-offs between search speed, scale, and accuracy. Latency increases with vector count unless you accept lower recall or throughput. DynamoDB Vector Search solves this by providing single-digit millisecond latency at 99% plus recall for any scale. You store vector embeddings alongside other attributes and generate them using models from Amazon Bedrock or other sources. You create vector indexes to run approximate nearest neighbor searches and pick partition keys to scale your workload. You filter on attributes to scope results to relevant subsets. The serverless model eliminates infrastructure management, downtime, and maintenance windows while providing pay-per-use pricing. You can use this for AI agent memory with semantic retrieval, product similarity search, personalized advertising, retrieval augmented generation, and recommendation systems with predictable performance.